having a childhood spent in Alaska. I learned that I could make a life studying streams and fish, and it's been just my passion since I was a young kid. I get to work in some of the best remaining salmon watersheds on Earth. You can just feel the wildness and the life that is concentrated in the river, and a lot of it's fueled by salmon. I come back to Oregon and I know the potential here because this is salmon country. In order for salmon to thrive in this area, though, we really need healthy forests. And I feel like things are out of balance between how we're managing our forests and streams and what is really needed to sustain salmon. Oregon has some of the weakest forest protection laws on the West Coast. If you do a flyover of the Oregon Coast Range, what you see from the air are massive clear cuts coming right next to small streams with very thin riparian forests left behind. We're not giving the streams the things they need to create good habitat. In this landscape, in order for salmon to survive, they need a few basic things. Cold, clean water, hill slopes that are healthy, they're not prone to landsliding, clean gravel for spawning, and lots of wood in the stream for juvenile habitat. So we snorkel to count fish, essentially, and what the purpose of our counts is to measure how well the fish population is doing, but also we can look at whether there's higher densities of fish in pools that have wood. What we've known for a long time is that the more complex a pool, so the more logs that are collected in a pool, the more nooks and crannies juvenile salmon have to hide and to live their lives. When those conditions aren't there, fish have a hard time surviving. They get washed out during floods, they suffer high predation from birds and other predators. You know, we're logging whole watersheds practically and leaving thin riparian buffers that really are not effective at protecting the streams. How we treat this landscape, if it's all for extraction, there's going to be a big price to pay in terms of salmon. They're not going to be around for much longer. It can be really frustrating as a scientist. We know what we need to protect these streams, and we know that in a lot of cases the forest management is not adequate for that. You can produce all the information in the world, but if people ignore it or just are not using it, then it's not helping our streams. And so I think we need stronger riparian protection to make sure the function of those riparian forests is intact. And that includes shading streams, keeping them cool in the summer, and also providing wood that builds juvenile salmon habitat. Healthy salmon watersheds are about more than just salmon. They're about clean water, healthy forests, sustainable use of the land. What it means to me is having young children, I want their lives to be enriched by being in the presence of salmon. We know these streams used to produce a lot of salmon. So the good thing is we can manage the landscape better and they'll thrive under those conditions.